Where is it written in Genesis that Eve was not a woman at first? Is there such a thing? Eve wasn't a woman at first. How can that be? I want to take you to biblical Hebrew. I want to go to the source first and then explain some amazing things that could change your life. Because if you didn't know this and you care, really what I'm going to tell you today, God willing, could turn your life around 180 degrees for the better with an amazing blessing. Listen carefully. First, we open the chapter. I'm here with the Chumash, the Pentateuch, the Bible of the people of Israel, chapter 1, verse 27. First, I'll read it calmly in Hebrew. I'll even chant it for you, and then I'll translate it into Spanish. And from this point on, I want to reveal to you some amazing things with an incredible blessing. Let's go to chapter 1, verse 27, as I told you.
7. Vaivra el
And to spectacular, incredible blessing
bara oto zak
of revealing spectacular things. Very well. This first one is surely going to be a spectacular revelation for you. Impressive. I'll translate it freely. It goes like this. And Elohim created, God the Creator. He created man in his image. In the image of Elohim, he created him. He created him in his image and likeness. Obviously, image and likeness are not meant literally. It's on a spiritual level. It's something very profound, but it's not our topic at this moment. But basically, the Creator created the first man, Adam, on a spiritual level with very, very, very divine and profound qualities. I'll continue. And then it says,
zachar unekeva bara.
and it's surely something new for you. Male and female. Therefore, here is something truly impressive, truly impressive. When we go to the beginning of Genesis, as I told you, chapter 1, verse 27, we see that both Adam and Eve were created, one as a unit. Zahar means male, Nekeva means female. And the verse ends by saying Zahar Nekeva bara otam. He created them male and female. In plural, he created both of them. And this is impressive. Because usually the translation is very, very different. Surely, if this is something new for you, I would love for you to tell me in the comments what you were told, what you thought, how the Creator created Adam and Eve in the beginning. Then there is how God created them. I mean, in terms of when exactly Adam and Eve were somehow separated from that initial unity. They were separated so they could later come together. To join together in marriage, it's something very, very profound that also has a lot to do with marriage in every generation, today and in eternity. You should know, this is just an aside, but it's a gem I want to share with you, something impressive. Later, I want to tell you a real spectacular story that I think can help you a lot. First, I want to tell you about marriage. If you are married, this is spectacular. You need to know that you and your husband or you and your wife, in some way on a spiritual level, are like that soul that was united. Returning to the origin is truly exciting and spectacular. Adam, the first man, as he is really called, who we should actually say, the first man and woman united, then separated and joined together again. I mean, to explain it in a more contextual way, in a more exact and real form. But since he's called Adam Harishon, the first man, or the first Adam, or Adam in Spanish, like I told you, Zahar, the Creator made them, both male and female, first as a single unit. Now, what does that tell you about your husband or your wife? That you, on a spiritual level, should be like a single soul before getting married. And when you got married, obviously, each of you brought your own part to the marriage. If you are a man, you brought your masculine part and your wife brought the feminine part. Or the other way around. If you are the woman, you brought the feminine part and your husband the masculine part. And basically that unity that existed before getting married, you brought it into the marriage and joined it together again. It's something very impressive. Spiritually, it's spectacular. It's amazing. It's also written that regarding this unity, the Creator, obviously the Creator who knows everything that's going to happen. Obviously the Creator is everything, above everything, and knows everything. The Creator who, as it's said in Hebrew, creates us at every moment and loves us and trusts us so much. He obviously knows who we are going to marry even before we are born. That soul already exists. That, as it's called in Spanish, the soul. That soul, that essential soul, which is our soul with whom we are going to marry. And in a certain way, when we get married, it's like our essence comes together again. Our sages also explain that when someone truly gets married, it's as if they become complete. Before getting married, a person is incomplete. When someone gets married, they return to that unity, to that completeness. Like I told you, it's in the verse, the masculine and feminine become united. We were masculine and feminine when, at the level of Adam Harishon, the first Adam, we were male and female. That's how the Creator made us. Then He separated us to unite us again. This is something spectacular and very, very profound, obviously. And I want to tell you a story, like I said, a very, very interesting story that I saw in a report. I saw it several years ago, so if I'm not exact with the details, that's not the point, because the point is the message, and the message is spectacular. I'll tell you what I remember. A Mexican rabbi who lives in Jerusalem in the Holy Land writes Torah books, has a very unique story. Like I said, he's Mexican. And he's not only Mexican, he was born in Mexico and also comes from a family, a Catholic family. I don't remember exactly which branch, but basically he wasn't born Jewish. And if I remember correctly, his father also had an important position in the congregation they were members of. I won't say the exact name since I don't remember which branch, but that's not important. The important thing is that it was basically a religious congregation, not Jewish, that obviously loved the Bible, loved the Holy Bible, obviously. Obviously, they believed in the Bible of the people of Israel, although later they gave it their own interpretation, which I don't really remember, as I said, which branch, but that's not our topic. So what is our topic? And how he changed, as I told you, he's a rabbi. So if he's a rabbi and he wasn't Jewish, obviously he decided to become part of the people of Israel and converted to Judaism. But something very interesting, which is the point I've wanted to tell you, is what was the thing that made him realize, what really changed his understanding, something very, very interesting. As I told you, it was obviously a very religious family with a lot of love for the Bible. And at one point they received different versions of the Bible with different translations. And he, obviously his father was someone who knew a lot about the Bible, and he did too, since he was born into that family. And he was really surprised by the differences in the translations. This translation didn't match with this one, and this one didn't match with that one. So he started to wonder, then what should I rely on? What is the truth? Which Bible should I believe in? And that led him to investigate what the origin is, which is Hebrew. Obviously, he started studying Hebrew and looking up what this word means, what that word means, what the other word means. By the way, let me tell you something very interesting. Generally, it's said that Eve came from Adam's rib. That's really what is known. Now I'm going to tell you something very interesting. The word Selah, which literally means rib in Hebrew, you have to understand that there's a very, very important explanation among the people of Israel, and also obviously on a literal level, Selah means side, flank, that the Creator took Eve from Adam's side. And this is an explanation that many people really don't know. I always thought it was a rib, because literally Zela means rib, but it also means side or flank. I'm giving you this as an aside, as an example of how Hebrew also hides essence. The Hebrew language also hides essence. It's something very, very impressive. In fact, I'll tell you that if I remember, I'll put it here in the description. We recently opened a Hebrew Wisdom Club. It's an exclusive club. Basically, what we teach is the depth of Hebrew, not just to study another language, but basically to teach the Hebrew Jewish way of understanding the world, which is understood through the structures of the Hebrew language, which is not just another language. As I told you, this is something I mentioned in passing, but basically, the Hebrew language always hides essence. It hides and raises questions. Questions and answers that never would have occurred to you can come from a simple word. It's impressive, truly impressive. I have an example that comes to mind now. The word for soul in Hebrew is neshama. In Hebrew, soul is neshama and breath is neshima. As you hear neshama, neshima, neshama, neshima, it's almost the same. There's one letter difference, which is the yud, but basically the root of the word is the same. Impressive. How does the book of Psalms of King David, of blessed memory, whose merit should protect us, end? Chapter 150 of Sefer Tehillim, the book of Psalms of David Hamelech, King David, ends like this. Kol haneshama tehalel hallelujah. Kol haneshama tehalel hallelujah. It says like this. Every neshama, every soul will praise you. Creator will praise you, Creator. That is, think about it. There is something very impressive here. Your neshama, your soul, how does it live? Obviously, your body, which provides the covering for your soul, how does it live? Through the oxygen you breathe, you're breathing. Obviously, you breathe, you live. Therefore, the one who gives you, it's something very deep. The one who gives you breath, you don't have a button to make yourself breathe, do you? The Creator gives you breath, gives you oxygen, gives you all your vital organs, your whole body, all your veins, all your blood, your whole mind, your emotions. It's impressive. Therefore, when we talk about neshama, the soul, obviously we have to talk about neshima, breath. And it's impressive, the oxygen that enters with your neshima, with your breath. You can praise the Creator as the book of Psalms by King David ends, Kol haneshama, every soul will praise you, Creator. Kol haneshama te'alele alleluia, Kol haneshama te'alele alleluia. And we can see this as remarkable as one word. That your soul is connected to your breath, and your breath has the potential to praise the Creator. Impressive with just one word. And in fact, this exclusive club of Hebrew wisdom basically teaches in this format. We also have a weekly video that is a Zoom on the internet, a live class on the internet, which is given to the members of the group. And there are WhatsApp groups where we also constantly send teachings about Psalms and, well, many other amazing things. Which basically is not that you are studying just another language, but that Lashon Kodesh, the holy language, which is Hebrew, they are the 22 letters the Creator uses to create and continually sustain the world. This is something from the Kabbalah, deep secrets of Judaism, that basically the Creator creates His world, our beloved world, all of creation, with the 22 letters of the Hebrew language. Therefore, Hebrew is a vessel of light that truly hides a way of thinking, mental and emotional patterns that can really change the way you feel and live in a totally radical way for your blessing, God willing. And this, God willing, if I remember, I will put the link, the URL here in the video description in case you want to request information. To find out a little more about our exclusive Hebrew Wisdom Club, closing parenthesis. So to wrap up a little what I wanted to tell you, that the rabbi who was born in Mexico from a religious background, obviously not Jewish, obviously very different from Judaism, but what they had in common was the Bible. And because of the Bible and the very different translations he found, he ran into a problem. What should he believe? Which book should he believe? That made him go back to the source. He was obviously very consistent and genuine, very true to himself, very demanding about the truth. And he said, I have to go to the source. So what is the source? The people of Israel who received the Torah at Mount Sinai. And in what language is the Torah? In Hebrew. Therefore, I have to study Hebrew. And therefore, obviously, when he started delving into Hebrew, he discovered incredible secrets in the language and in the translation. And with the original and real translation, which is what the Creator gave us as a gift at Mount Sinai, you have to know something impressive. That at Mount Sinai, not only did Moshe listen and speak with the Creator, that obviously we all know, the great prophet Moshe of blessed memory, may his merit protect us, God willing, obviously. But there's something incredible here that very few people know. You should know that millions of people, all of us who left Egypt 3,337 years ago, we left Egypt, slaves of Egypt. We left, the Red Sea parted, we arrived at Mount Sinai, and millions of people, elderly men, elderly women, fathers, mothers, grandfathers, grandmothers, boys and girls. We received the Torah and we saw letters, the letters in Hebrew of the first two commandments in Hebrew, Anoji, Adonai, and Eloheja. I am God the Creator who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. And the second commandment, we also saw the letters in the sky with fire, smoke, and impressive fire. You shall have no other gods before me. Do not have idols before me. The second commandment is a total prohibition against idolatry. The connection with the Creator, that there is nothing outside the Creator. The Creator is the creator of everything. The source of everything is above everything, creates everything. And far above our understanding, the Creator who loves you and creates you every moment and trusts you, tells you, obviously I'm saying this in my own words, but based on the second commandment, it's when you pray, when you have to pray to ask for something, talk to me directly, don't have any kind of intermediary. Whether it's an object, God forbid, no object, not made of wood, not made of stone, or any kind of material, no living or dead person, no one before me. Do not have idols before me. Lo ye Elohim ajerim al panai. Do not have idols before me. So what does that mean? A slightly deeper explanation. Between you and the Creator, a direct connection, obviously the Creator. With great shining reverence, much love, reverence, reverential fear, of course, not fear that He will hurt you, God forbid. No, God loves you, He trusts you. Obviously a reverential fear, of course, but a lot of love too, both together, love and reverential fear together. And the holy and wise Kabbalists teach us something incredible. When you want to ask the Creator for something, you don't necessarily need to look for eloquent words. The Creator loves your heart, loves your feelings, loves you, and wants you to open your heart to Him and speak to Him with your own words as you would speak to your best friend whom you love and respect so much, of course, obviously in a proper way with a lot of respect and a lot of love. But basically open your heart to Him and tell Him, what are your dreams? What are your pains? What's happening to you? What hurts you? What do you aspire to? Ask Him for guidance. The Creator is waiting for you to talk to Him. Impressive. And these two great commandments, the first two great commandments that I told you in Hebrew and the translation in Spanish, people of Israel, millions of people, and not only them. I'm going to tell you something that very few people know. All the souls of the people of Israel and all the souls of those who converted and joined the people of Israel. In all generations, we were there. There are 600,000 mother souls, which later branched out into millions and millions and millions of souls. Of course, but this is a very impressive secret. 600,000 mother souls that branch out in all generations, in all Jewish men and women, using verses without conversations in Orthodox Judaism. Impressive, we were all there, we saw the letters in Hebrew, we heard the voice of the Creator. Impressive, an impressive spiritual scene. And that Torah is the one from the story I told you where Rabbi Emi, a Mexican, came to Israel to live in Jerusalem. And he writes, obviously he connected a lot with Hebrew, so he decided to write Torah books, which also involves wisdom and impressive mastery. With many laws, impressive Hebrew led him to change his life because he wanted to go to the origin. It's impressive. Now, let me make another aside and say, we have to know that the message of this story is not that everyone who wants to reach the origin has to convert to Judaism. We have to know that Judaism, the people of Israel, we are not a proselytizing people or a people who seek followers. Not at all, not at all. In fact, someone who wants to convert to Judaism, it's a process that requires a lot of commitment, and you really have to see if that soul is truly meant to be part of the people of Israel. Because you have to know that the Torah, which is the Torah, the will of the Creator in this world, which is our holy book, teaches us that the Torah is relevant for the people of Israel and for all the nations of the world. That is to say, a non-Jewish person who does the will of the Creator and fulfills the 7 laws of Noah, which are great, 7 laws that branch out into many smaller laws. If they fulfill those 7 great laws, they can truly be a chassid, a righteous person among the nations, and reach impressive spiritual levels. Therefore, I don't want it to be misunderstood that the example I gave of this rabbi who converted to Judaism is what everyone has to do. If someone is not Jewish, not at all. A non-Jewish person can fulfill their mission in life in a spectacular way by doing the will of the Creator, by being non-Jewish and being a son or daughter of Noah, which basically means keeping the 7 great laws of Noah. There's plenty online about this topic. Feel free to ask me in the comments. And basically being a righteous person among the nations, impressive with spectacular spiritual levels. So it's very important for me to emphasize this topic. It shouldn't seem like there's an obligation to convert, obviously, a soul, a non-Jewish person who truly wants to be part of his people and is interested. Well, that's perfect. There is a path, and it's possible, of course, possible, but it's not an obligation. It's important to know it's not an obligation if that's not the person's or soul's spiritual destiny. Therefore, you should always seek advice on these matters with the closest Orthodox rabbi who observes Jewish law, if you know one, or also on the internet, there is a lot of information. Orthodox communities, they might be near your home, your city, or you can find out. Today, it's really possible because the resources are available. Very well, keep wrapping up the topic of Eve. Basically, what I wanted to tell you that Eve was not a woman at first. You have to understand the following. What is the message here? Was this something new for you? Even though it is written in the Torah Kedosha, in the Holy Torah, in a very clear way. And there are other things you think are true, but it's clear, it's obvious, it's what I was taught. Well, if you think that's the case, you have to put a question mark on many things. Why? Because if you didn't know this, it could be that other things you thought you knew are wrong. Maybe people with good intentions taught you wrong things that lead you to a life that's not the best for you. Why? Because it's based on mistakes. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not. Obviously, each person has to know their own story, reflect, and think about whether what they received is correct, whether what they studied is correct, whether what they studied is the foundation that the people of Israel received at Mount Sinai, which is a blessing for all nations. In fact, the people of Israel, if God wills it, we have the merit to be a light to the nations. Like I told you a while ago, the Torah entering Mount Sinai. It is relevant for the people of Israel, for all nations, each person and their nation according to their purpose in the world. Therefore, may we have the merit, just to sum up a little, I'd love for you to tell me here in the comments how it went for you, how you felt. If you have any questions that come up, anything you would like to know, tell me, open your heart to me and tell me all about it here in the comments. I want to know what other topics you like, what other topics interest you. Please tell me down below in the comments. So to sum up a bit, it's very important to be truly honest with yourself, like I told you a little while ago. Talk to the Creator, ask for guidance, and if you are truly honest with yourself, if you are sincere with yourself, if God wills it, you will have the Creator's guidance, especially if you ask the Creator for guidance, to find your mission in life and truly be a light for those around you, for personal happiness, family happiness, and your whole environment, and God willing, the whole world. Know that, as I heard and as our sages explain, your birthday is the day the Creator decided. That this world cannot exist without you. This world cannot exist without you. There is not a single molecule in this creation that doesn't have a purpose. And think about it, obviously, what purpose do you have? And that the Creator decides to need you so that you can fix His world, make His world a better world, a happier world with more blessing. Think about your family situation, what good things you can do at your job, at your place of study, wherever you are. A smile, a glass of water, good advice, a good attitude to help others, to help your neighbor. From what you do, from what you dedicate yourself to, how can you enhance that? What potential do you have? What strengths do you have? Build on your strengths. What you need to correct, try to correct it. In every aspect of your life, connect with the Creator, ask Him for guidance, and God willing, that will be all. With many blessings, tell me here in the comments what you thought. Success and blessings.